Hello everyone, you are on Radar Contact and welcome to another VASAviation video. Welcome to another analysis. Today we're going to be going through the video, the incident, the accident that I posted yesterday about a Cessna Centurion that crashed in Lubbock. Most likely because of the weather. We can see here, I got the METAR here, and I'm going to go through the METAR first, because I know that many people that watch my videos don't have the knowledge about most of the terminology that we used in aviation. So here's the METAR that we can read right there. For the 26th of October, 2053 times Zulu, the wind 020 degrees, 15 knots, gusting 21 knots, visibility 4 scattered miles, light freezing drizzle, or freezing rain, we'll go through that in a moment. Broom or mist, overcast, ceiling 700, temperature -4, dew point -5, and the altimeter 3016. So we'll go, I have here my headset, we'll go through the video, I'll listen to the audio, to the ATC audio, and I'll try to explain what happens and what I think that might have happened in that accident. So for those who haven't watched the video, go watch it entirely following the link in the description, because I will just go through the most important parts of this situation. So we will not watch the video entirely, so if you haven't watched the video, go watch it, the original ATC video following the link. Let's go.
Centurion 22 Tango, 9.5 miles from the runway threshold. Turn left heading 020. Maintain 5,200 till established for the final approach course. Cleared on at Yankee, runway 35, left approach.
Can we heading again, please?
Left heading 020.
20.
So
that was the 17 right approach, correct?
No, 35 left. Yeah, 35 left approach. The RNF.
So first we can hear is like the pilot attitude on the radio is not very good, and maybe he's nervous, and maybe he's already feeling the stress of flying inside within that weather, those conditions that are very bad. So he is established, or he's gonna establish on the RNAV Yankee 35 left. That is an approach into Lubbock for landing on the runway 35 left. You know, I have all the animations that help you understand what is going on in the airspace. We have 90622 Tango now turning left into that heading that the controller instructed to join the final approach course and like head right straight into the runway.
The RNAV Yankee 35 left.
So here's the approach plate. It's like, seems like 962 Tango was being vectored for the RNAV and now ready to join the final approach course.
Can you tell me what my next Tango, would be?
22 Tango, you're coming up towards VASAviation, that's the final approach stick.
You can see VASAviation here, you can see my mouse cursor. So here's VASAviation, which is the final approach fix of the approach.
And you are cleared for the RNAV Yankee 35.
Sounds like maybe he's not very familiar with the autopilot of his aircraft or with the GPS setup or something, because he's, at least at the beginning, sounds like he's kind of lost with the approach he's following or supposed to follow.
22 Yankee, cancel approach clearance, turn right heading 090 and maintain 5,000.
The controller knows and recognizes that 9622 Tango has some kind of a problem following the approach, so he suggests to leave the approach for another attempt to rejoin the final approach course. Controller issues a 90 heading, 090 heading eastbound, and maintain the altitude 5,200, which 90622 Tango does no problem.
Coach, could you give me the Mummy intersection?
Number 22 Yankee, Roger. I'll continue out in the 090 and I'll get you a Mummy. You want to join at a Mummy is what you're saying?
That's correct.
Right, so I'll take you past the Mummy and give you a right turn back to it to get you on the approach.
Okay, during the first part of the video, I only showed the 962 Tango flight track. You know what the aircraft has flown, and now along together with the approach plate, we can see Imami, Sovok, and Ufasi, and that is the approach that 962 Tango is asking to do. So for some reason, 962 Tango wants to do. The pilot wants to do the entire approach, beginning from Imami intersection, which is here. You can see the mouse cursor here, the initial approach fix, to join the track into the intermediate fix, Sovok, and then join for the Ufasi final approach fix to join the final approach course right straight to the runway. And controller acknowledges, and okay, I will give you a eastbound heading. You can see the cursor here, eastbound heading past Imami for a right turn back to Imami, and from Imami to the final approach, to the intermediate fix, sorry, and back to the approach for the airport. This time is accelerated, and a little piece of information for you about the data block, or data block is what I call it, or the tag of the aircraft. 962 Tango, and right underneath you can see some numbers, 053 and 07. What is that for those who are not familiar? 053 means that the aircraft is at 5,300 feet, and the 07 is the ground speed. Keep in mind that this information is picked up by the ADSB, so I pick up the ADSB and import it into our radar software. So 5,300, and the ground speed is 70 knots. 707 is 70 knots. The other C210 is the aircraft type. So the altitude now is 5,200, and the aircraft type is Cessna 210 Centurion.
22 Tango, turn right direct Imami.
Back to Imami.
Right direct Imami.
And at Imami, clear for the approach.
Turn 22 Tango, cross Imami at 5,200. Cleared on Yankee, runway 35 left approach.
Cleared for RNAV 35 left approach. 5-2 established.
5-2 established. Sounds and seems like he's kind of stressful. He's not very good on the radio, so he probably is stressed inside the aircraft, fighting with the clouds. So we'll go through in just a moment here what is going on outside the aircraft, which is very important here in this accident. So turning back to Imami in a minute.
Tango, are you experiencing any icing?
And this voice sounds like it's different from the first controller, so maybe the supervisor came into position to now control the aircraft to Tango, which sounds like he's having troubles with his aircraft. So the supervisor comes in and asks if he's having troubles with the ice, if he's flying in icing conditions.
That's affirmative.
Affirmative. What kind? What kind?
Freezing rain.
Freezing rain.
Freezing rain, and what's the outside air temperature?
Air temperature looks like it's 10 degrees Celsius.
10 degrees Celsius. But
Negative 10 or positive 10?
negative 10 or a positive 10. Remember the METAR. So this temperature right here must be negative 10. That is for sure.
Departure Shelter 97. We had icing pickup on departure with negative 3C, and it's now sublimated. We'll have some.
This is very important here. When I edit the videos, I go through 100% of the conversations from the aircraft involved, and then I go through 90% of the other conversations. In this case, we have Air Shuttle 5967, who just took off from Lubbock and now giving this report about ice, which I consider is very important in this situation, because ice is 99% the cause of this accident. So this pilot from Air Shuttle 5967, we got ice picked up on departure with -3C, and now it's getting better as we're passing 7,000.
Copy, negative 3 with freezing rain.
Affirm on departure first.
So what is freezing rain or freezing drizzle? Well, freezing rain can form ahead of a warm front, or in a inversion situation of the atmosphere. You know, when you climb, the temperature normally decreases as you climb. So if you have an inversion, the opposite happens. So as you climb, the temperature increases. You can have a warm air mass over a colder air mass. You can have rain happening on the within the warm air mass dropping into the colder air mass. What happens is you can have water droplets, rain, at a temperature below freezing, called 0 degrees Celsius, and still in a liquid state. What is that? That is called supercooled water droplets. In order to water to freeze, you need what is called a freezing nuclei. These can be particles of dust, haze, pollution. You need a nuclei. If the water is pure enough to not freeze, you have supercooled water droplets, or supercooled large droplets, called SLD. As soon as these droplets find a nuclei, a freezing nuclei, they freeze immediately. Okay, so you can have an inversion, rain falling into colder air mass here, and as soon as that water impacts the aircraft, it will instantly freeze. So what these have here is very, very important here. So the air shuttle is saying that they encounter freezing rain from the ground and during the first 2,000 feet over the ground. I have taken a look at the Lubbock elevation, and Lubbock elevation is 3,200 feet. Now, plus 2,000 feet is 5,200 feet. That is the altitude that Niner 622 Tango is at. So we can say that Niner 622 Tango has been flying at a freezing level, at a freezing rain situation for more than 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then the air shuttle said that as they were climbing through 7,000 feet, the conditions were getting better and better. Why is that? Because there's an inversion. As they are climbing, they are getting out of the freezing level, out of the freezing rain. So no more freezing rain going through a warmer air mass. You are getting rid of the ice. The icing conditions are no longer affecting you. So Niner 622 Tango on a single engine aircraft, not equipped with de-ice or anti-ice devices, is having real troubles here. I will put right now here a picture of the aircraft, November Niner 622 Tango, which is an old Cessna Centurion, and we can see that it is not equipped with any de-ice devices. You know, aircraft can have de-ice or anti-ice devices. Anti-ice can be liquid, some liquid like the liquid you have in your car, anti-ice freezing, anti-ice liquid, or you can have a heat system taking the hot air from the engines and recirculating it to the wings, to the tail, to avoid ice. Now you can have also de-ice systems. Most common de-ice system in light aircraft like the Centurion or the Piper Malibu or other aircraft is the de-ice boots. Here's a picture of the de-ice boots. Those are a system that when you activate it in the cockpit, they kind of inflate and they deform the ice, break the ice off the aircraft. And this Cessna Centurion is not equipped with any of these devices. It's not ice protected. Okay, freezing rain or freezing drizzle is the most dangerous icing condition an aircraft can experience. Freezing rain, when it impacts the aircraft, immediately freezes and creates glaze or clear ice over the surfaces. This ice can be really thick, which deforms and alters the shape of the airfoil. The shape of the airfoil has to be very delicate for the aerodynamics, so any little piece of ice would deform and would disturb the airflow over and around the airfoil. Not only there on these surfaces, but also these little aircraft, normally the control wheel is connected to the control surfaces by cables and hinges on the control surfaces. So the ice can also form inside and over the hinges of the control surfaces. So if you have to control the aircraft to turn, to descend, to climb, if there is ice, you will not be able to move the control surfaces because there is ice blocking the hinges. Centurion 962 Tango, turn right heading 270. Some people said in the comments that the tower controller was being kind of not helpful with this instruction, okay, because 270 turn right, if he's on established in a 3-5 approach, it's like 270 would be on the left. The thing is, the 962 Tango is already in a kind of a spin or loss of control of the aircraft, and he is now flying southbound. So he started flying northbound on the 3-5 approach, and at some point he started flying southbound, so probably in a spin or he lost control of his aircraft and started descending. So tower just tried to give instruction 962 to keep flying, and also to not really knowing what's happening, to get him out of the localizer, because Southwest 1117 is going to establish on that same approach. You see 962 Tango is already descending. You're gonna see the airspeed increase because he is either in a stall or in a dive. You know, he's falling. 4,200, 4,100.
West 1117, that aircraft had a autopilot issue. Cancel approach clearance. Maintain 6,000, turn left heading at 270, vector for resequence.
And the radar target disappears. All the rest of the video is the approach controller resequencing all the arrivals into runway 8. So those final minutes, those final seconds, I must say that my guess and my opinion on that is that 22 Tango had picked up so much ice building up all along the front surfaces of the wings, the tail, the fin, maybe pitot tubes, not having a good reliability on airspeed indications because the pitot tubes maybe were also blocked by ice. Maybe the hinges on the control surfaces not being able to maneuver his aircraft properly. This is very unfortunate and sad. As a pilot myself, I have to say I have learned a lot doing, listening to, and after now watching this video again. I have watched my own video many times and listened to this audio communications many times. It feels wrong to say that we as aviators learn from others' mistakes, but aviation is like this, you know. Aviation is safe. Aviation is the safest way to move and to travel in the world. And why is that? Because we have improved. We have learned from mistakes in the past. Tenerife crash and many other incidents and tragedies that we have had in aviation. The most important thing that we have to do now as aviators and as the investigators, the aircraft designers and engineers, air traffic controllers, maybe other controllers can learn from this video too. Hopefully it will help people, and it will help aviation to get more and more safe. So as always, thank you very much for watching my analysis, hoping that other pilots will learn with this. Thank you again. You have frequency change approved, and see you in the next video.